They wanted to do it. A fascinating kind of power.
Yeah, do it! I like it. Sing it again!
I do remember coming away from that concert thinking I must go and buy a Queen album immediately, like the rest of the world. And I think Queen got a huge resurgence of interest.
Just as Queen were finishing their set, Geldof stormed into the BBC box, still fuming about the failure to raise enough money.
So I was wound up by how great this was, having seen these guys, been magnificent. And suddenly I'm there and it's cozy, you know, celeb, DJ, pop-tastic stuff.
I've been joined, as you can see, by Pamela Stephenson, Billy Connolly, Ian Astbury from the Cult, and once again, Bob Geldof.
It's all a bit telethonish. And that wasn't what this is, you know. I mean, the thing, calling it charity did and drove me nuts. For me, this was finely tuned politics.
You know, you've got to get on the phone and take the money out of your pocket. Don't go to the pub tonight, please. Stay in and give us the money. There are people dying now, so give me the money. And here's the numbers.
Let's go through the way. I think we're probably going to get the address first, aren't we?
What the fuck? We've got satellites, we've got space shuttles or not, we've got Concorde, we've got, you know, what's it, right? You know, it seemed to me of another time. This notion that you do telethons, you do charity concerts, you do Smashy and Nice, you do, you know, shut up.
No, let's fuck the address, let's get the numbers, because that's how we're going to get it.
And I'm thinking, actually, what every embarrassed TV presenter is thinking in those circumstances. I do hope my mother's not watching this. I think we're going to have the address first, and the address which you can.
He's in like a burning elephant, you know. Give me your fucking money and I'll come and get you. I'll kill your family.
It's a sort of regular feature, though, of life with Bob after a time.
And so it came to pass. Geldof became famous for something he didn't actually say.
Give us your fucking money.
Give us your fucking money.
Give us your money. Give us your fucking money now.
Give us your fucking money. And it was brilliant. And everyone going, yes, yes.
So it forever will be, give me the fucking money. Like, and I get it all the time going down the street. Unfortunately, it's my one gift to the nation. Give me the fucking money, you know? So, but I didn't say it.
Stay in and give us the money. There are people dying now, so give me the money.
And from that moment onwards, the lines just went mad. So Bob's deliberate use of the swear word triggered this fantastic and immediate reaction.
Tonight, a tense Geldof was summoned to the phone, and the appeal claimed its biggest individual donation from the ruling family of Dubai.
£1 million. £1 million, well done, fantastic.
Great.
While Geldof's language shocked punters into parting with their cash, in Philadelphia, promoter Bill Graham was still on the prowl. Simple minds were overrunning, and Graham resorted to his usual star-handling tactics.
Bill at that point has got me almost in a headlock. Pierce, you told me these guys, if this song will last 4 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. I said, well, Bill, what do you want to do? Go and stop them. There's 1 billion people watching the telly. I mean, look, I'll tell him to cut the set to 2 songs. Right. I get up behind Mel Gaynor on drums and say, we'll need to cut it after this. And so the word somehow or other gets to Jim as he's finishing the second song. Tumultuous applause, great reception. And of course, somehow or other, they've caught up on time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
The band go to walk off, and Bill goes, what are they doing to me? And I said, well, you just told us. No, don't be stupid, get them on again, you know. And something else, okay, go on.
This is called Promise You a Miracle.
Some old pros got temperatures soaring. But other young Turks didn't quite hit the right note.
It would be very cruel of me to actually pick on anybody and say they weren't great because this happened or whatever. But there is the famous Simon Le Bon yodel.
All the times to go and do that.
At the time, I was mortified. Absolutely mortified. We'd been rehearsing for 2 days, and I'd given myself a bit of a sore throat doing that because we just hammered it and hammered it and hammered it.
We've all done it, but, you know, don't do it in front of all those people, Simon. Please.
And no one who was present would ever be able to forget a certain pop diva's behaviour backstage.
Suddenly these minders came in and said, OK, everyone clear the area. And I was sitting with Jim Kerr chatting to him, and you know, we're from Glasgow. We went, no, why? And they went, just clear the area. I went, no, we're just not clearing the area. And in came Madonna, and Madonna wanted to use the toilet. So she didn't want anywhere near her. So of course we just sat outside the portal going, and then as soon as she came out again, he stood up and went, I'd give it a few minutes before you use that one.
In London, another diva, emboldened by his stage performance, was honing his seduction skills.
I want to break free.
So when Freddie Mercury comes up to me and goes, hello, we've all agreed that we like you. And I went, oh. And he had me up against a wall, and Freddie was being really playful with me. And I walked off and I went, he's really very camp, isn't he? Somebody said, Queen.
God knows I want to break free.
He got me in an arm lock, like this, you see. He said, all right, darling, I'm not going to hug you. And so I thought, wow.
Is he Welsh then?
He was Welsh when I was with him. And I thought, well, if he wanted to, he could have done. And there was a little learning curve there, because I thought, up until now, I thought that gay men were kind of feeble. Freddie wasn't. If Freddie wanted you, he was going to have you.
So Freddie's got my hand still after talking for 2 minutes, and he's not letting go, which the co-guys thought was just hysterical. They're snorting away in the corner. And then he completely blew it for me by saying, but you're that lovely boy in the Boomtown Rats, aren't you? I said, no. I said, I'm the lovely boy from Ultravox.
Back on stage, David Bowie had the crowd eating out of his hand. But Bowie finished his set early, and the mood was about to change.
Bob asked me if there's any way that I could find a place to show this wonderful video that the cast had put their song to. And I think I cut my set short a bit so that they could use the video.
God bless you, you're the heroes of this concert. Lest we forget why we're here, I'd like to introduce a video made by CBC Television. The subject speaks for itself. Thank you. Good night. Please send your money in.
It was a moment the audience in the stadium and at home would never forget.
Who's gonna tell you when it's too late? Who's gonna tell you things aren't so great? You can't go on thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight?
The atmosphere completely changed. I mean, completely changed. It went icy cold. It was the most extreme set of emotions I've ever experienced. And I'll never have that again. I know that.
Who's gonna hang it up when you call? Who's gonna pay attention to your dreams?
I remember looking that way. I remember the screen being to the right and everyone looking at it and just crying, and it was, yeah.
I remember the woman next to me hugging me.
Yeah.
Everybody was very emotional, I think.
You can't go on.
The dry film was a bludgeon. If fuck was a slap, this was a club across the head.
Who's gonna drive you home?
And I'm watching this thing, and this wee boy, I'm getting very moved even as I speak about it. He was like this. All of a sudden, now a child it's a position a child should never be in. It's like an old guy in a Domino's hut in the public park. And as the music was so beautiful, and then he went like that, you know, he put his head in his hands, this wee guy. It's like he's only a baby. He's only starting. He doesn't know what's going on. He did that, and I just couldn't. I wasn't in control of it. It just went.
Thinking nothing's wrong. Who's gonna drive you home tonight? Oh, you know you can't go on thinking.
And I'm sitting there and I'm just aware that you know, I'm filling up a little bit, but you know, Billy and Pamela are just tears rolling down. And clearly that experience was being replicated in living rooms all across the UK and probably beyond. Well, it's pictures like that that started this whole thing off, and there's not really much you can say after seeing those. Makes music.
The video was a revelation for one skeptic watching the concert at home in Hertfordshire. She was the Red Cross nurse in Ethiopia who had originally sparked Geldof's compassion.
It suddenly dawned on me that actually they were fighting as hard as I was for Ethiopia. And I wanted to talk to them and apologise for my feelings back in December when I first heard Band Aid singing Do They Know It's Christmas, and I wanted to apologise to them and say, this is fantastic, you're marvellous, I'm sorry I had these bad thoughts.
The phone lines lit up again. The money was now rolling in at £20,000 a minute. Live Aid was galvanising the nation as never before.
I would have been one of millions of people who had been slightly floundering with this. What can you do? And where do you give money to? And of course, they made it very easy for you.
I remember before Live Aid, when you thought about giving to Africa, it was that rather dreary envelope from Christian Aid that used to land on the doorstep, you know, with an oxen ploughing a furrow. And you maybe sort of put £1 in it and send it off. But this was suddenly trendy. You know, it was pop stars and it was popular culture, and giving was hip.
Phil Collins made it onto the stage at Philadelphia with seconds to spare.
It was a bridge to tie the two concerts together.
He was about to realise his dream, playing live with Led Zeppelin, who reformed especially for Live Aid.
Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce some friends of mine to you. Would you welcome Mr. Robert Plant, Mr. Jimmy Page, Mr. John Paul Jones, Mr. Tony Thompson,
America, boy, they were huge. And this was like, Zeppelin, man, shit. You know, this was the second coming.
Before the set, he went backstage to meet the band.
But there's a strange thing that when the Zeppelin guys get together, there was this black cloud, you know. The whole atmosphere changed, darkness. And I remember arriving and going into the trailer and saying, "Hi guys, okay." So, and Jimmy Page said, "So how does it go, Stairway to Heaven, huh? How does it go?" So I said, "Well, you know, I know this is where I come in and I go da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum." He said, "No, no." And I thought, okay. It was like I was being taken apart, in a very weird way.
Led Zeppelin said their own performance was substandard, and since then, they've blocked all attempts to broadcast it.
They were in a funny mood during it. And Jimmy was dribbling everywhere, and Robert's voice wasn't sung in. There's quite a lot of me when I my hands go up in the air not playing. You know, I'm playing and then there's a fill coming and I kind of just play the air for a bit and then come back in. I did toy with the idea momentarily at that point of walking off. But I couldn't walk off because we'd all be sitting here talking about that now.
Led Zeppelin later blamed Phil Collins for their disappointing performance.
I said, "Well, you know, what can you expect? We had one drummer that was halfway across the Atlantic." And we said, "Well, don't fucking have a go at me. You guys were off, man. I was together. I knew my stuff."
People trying to put us down. Things do look awful.
Back at Wembley, another rock and roll giant was about to fall victim, this time to the BBC's technical gremlins.
Why don't you all?
Worse was to come. After weeks of schmoozing and ego massaging, pop legend Paul McCartney had finally agreed to take part. He hadn't performed live for 6 years.
I was so unrehearsed. Bob just sort of said, "Oh, the piano's just round that curtain there. It's the white one." Well, I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't hear myself or anything, and the crowd was sort of going wild. I couldn't hear anything. And normally you've got a little bit of a monitor or something, and you can sort of hit ding, ding, ding. Okay, that's my piano. You know, when I've heard that's my voice, here we go. There was nothing.
viewers at home got some sound, but in the stadium, they could hear nothing.
And I'm thinking, oh, I'm the guy that told him, you know, about nuts and bolts and tickety-boo. I can't hear him. I showed him a picture of the sound system, and they can't hear it.
I wanted to sink into a hole when it all went wrong. He was probably the most important artist for us on the show to give it credibility. And I've always a bit sad about that. In fact, never worked for Paul McCartney since.
Paul McCartney was seen to himself for nearly 2 minutes before the sound engineers finally switched on his mic.
The great thing was that audience joined in. God bless the audience. They joined in and saved the day, you know, and it was all like, okay.
Okay, now you. One more time, and when the night is cloudy.
I remember having to share, to my eternal shame, having to share a microphone with David Bowie and then seeing later that I'd hogged it. Oh my God, the humiliation. I don't believe I've done that. David Bowie. David Bowie, the microphone with me.
The stars trooped on stage for the sing-along that everybody had been waiting for.
It's been a very great day for everybody. I think you know the next song. It might be a bit of a cock-up, but if you're going to cock it up, you may as well do it with 2 billion people watching you. So let's cock it up together. Goodbye, Philadelphia. Goodbye, America. We hope you have a good rest of the day. David's going to start this. You ready, guys?
It's no time to be afraid.
It must have been so fantastic. I wished I'd been there. Yeah, man. Because I've seen the footage back. I'm swaying away at the back there, lovely. Singing away like a pub singer, pint in one hand, lovely. And I know. Wasn't it?
I was kind of walking backwards into the crowd to sink into the, you know, I wasn't going to get up there start fighting for mics, and Bob grabbed me by the arm and pulled me forward and stuck a mic in my face. So I did eventually sing a line on the song.
George Michael grabbed a mic and said, "Sing." Thanks.
And if my ego's a bit bruised later, it soon died away. It wasn't a problem, you know, it didn't matter. It wasn't about that at all. It was about pulling it off, and we pulled it off.
Look, your tits are showing.
Oh, shush, Bob. Did you like that? What was it like?
It was brilliant. God, the end was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. We're conducting with that band. Great. God, ask me a question.
I'm proud.
Brilliant. Staggering. Ho hum. Oh, let's go home.
Just a perfect day. Drink sangria in the park. And then later, when it gets dark, we go home.
In 12 frenzied weeks, and against all the odds, Bob Geldof had pulled off the impossible.
Donations and tributes to the concerts that captured the conscience of the world have gone on pouring in today.
The young people of Britain and America, moved by the plight of thousands of
collected
others,
around the world,
thousands of
but they're
miles.
now talking about an estimated total of £40 million.
Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you. Oh, such a perfect day. You just keep me hanging on. You just keep me hanging on.
The donations were far bigger than anyone could have hoped. More than £50 million for the starving of Africa. And it was a day that no one who lived through it would ever forget.
It was one of those moments, and there aren't many of those in life, that everyone has got a common experience of it. Everyone remembers where they were. Everyone remembers what they felt about it. It was one of those little pegs you hang all your other memories on.
You're going to reap just what you sow.
Live Aid changed forever the attitude of people who thought nothing could be done about something enormous.